Space, the boundary of human achievement, the new frontier.
It's just a cough.
Yeah, right. And the Earth is flat.
In a few moments, you will have an experience which will seem completely real. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's
Hold on.
foolproof.
I know how we're different. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it.
Holy sh**.
Do you think the Earth is flat, Snoop? What do you think?
It's a flat world after all.
Smoke weed every day.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the peanut gallery saw the light at the end of the tunnel, staring at it, realized it might be a train, and quickly returned to Strange World. Welcome back, Peanut Gallery, and he will be at the bottom of the screen, which we'll talk about. You might hear him, but you're not going to see him because, well, he's Peanut Gallery, and you don't get to see him. Welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger in fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Mark. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and yes, Carolina, if it is not March 11th, 2025, then you are listening to a rerun. Don't forget the show can be found on BitChute and Brighteon, Rockfin, Rumble, and Spotify. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth, it is just the beginning. Quote of the day goes like this, little tongue-in-cheek. They shake your hand and they smile and they buy you a drink. They say, we'll be your friends. We'll stick with you till the end. Ah, but everybody's only looking out for themselves. And you say, well, who can you trust? I'll tell you, it's just nobody else's money. Who said that? Cyndi Lauper, 1983. The title, Money Changes Everything. My co-host, right next to me, is the always delightful DJ Curious. And below me, Peanut Gallery, I don't have anything clever for you. Lisbeth has a fever tonight, and so she has opted out for the evening, which is fine. And then lower section over there, that's going to be our special guest who we'll bring on in just a few. Let's see here. How you doing, by the way, DJ?
Doing great. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. In fact, I'm really happy because rebooting your router actually seemed to help.
Oh, good. I know we were having technical difficulties,
Woo!
started to sweat, but here we are.
Yeah. Don't forget, guys, technical support expert here, and actually below me is also a technical support expert. 9 times out of 10, just reboot whatever it is, anything and everything. Rebooting shouldn't work, but it does. Or as they say in the IT crowd show, just turn it off and turn it back on again. Remember, the best way to find other Flat Earth members like yourself is to get the Flat Earth Sun and Moon and Zodiac Clock app. It's cheap, it's easy, and you can use it to convert others into the great and powerful Flat Earth army. One of us. Yeah. So sleepy. And because it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, it's time to say goodnight to one of our listeners, Paige. She's just put on her Ant and the Aardvark pajamas, got a cup of cocoa with exactly 6 tiny marshmallows, and will probably listen to the playback in the morning. Good night, Paige.
Good night, Paige.
We will do the shout outs in a second. Let's do the meetups really fast because we got to circle back to other things. And Peanut, we will have you say something to make sure people don't think I'm faking it and you're just an image on the screen. Meetups, Georgia, March 23rd. Nathan Thompson is going to be at that one. And
what's up, Nathan?
Yeah, Nathan. And so check out that on my that promo was on my channel. And I got a last minute message from the International Truth Expo, which is going to be in November. For all the details of that, because I'm going to screw up the date. I don't want to screw up the date. I know it's in November, though. Go to internationaltruthexpo.com. And the Flat Earth Conference, which I am not going to announce officially until I get absolute confirmation, looks like it's going to be in North Carolina the 3rd week of September, the weekend of, I think, September 20th this year. I will not, the website isn't up yet, but it'll all be announced really fast and we will give it to everybody. So don't worry. It's going to absolutely going to happen. Oh, let's see here. See if there's anything else. Shout outs, obviously, to Flat Earther Stephen Carpenter, the Deftones. Support the Flat Earth cause and get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to the strong.family, won't you? Pick up some merch. Dates. Oh, look. Hang on. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. But before we do,
I'm just showing the merch.
March 12th, Deftones are going to be in Austin. March 13th, San Antonio. March 15th, Dallas. This is a busy week for these guys. March 16th, Houston. March 18th, which would be next Tuesday. I might as well announce it in advance. They will be in Atlanta, Karen B's favorite city of all time. You know, that reminds me, DJ, there's something missing. As much as I like this whole thing that's happening here, there's something I can't put my finger on it. What is it? I know what it is. Where are your glasses? Your electric DJ glasses. Where are they, DJ?
Well, that is a really great question. Cool story, right? But you already know because let's
the audience does not know the story, and I think you should tell it again. How was your I will preface this, guys. DJ, tell me about your rock and roll adventure.
Dude, it was so much fun. Shout out to Stefan for just really making me feel welcome and exceeding all expectations, which I just didn't even know what I was getting myself into, but it turned out to be the most fun night I've had in a long time. And just really wanted to tell him personally, just you really went out of your way to make it extra special for me. And you know what? The glasses, they're on their new journey. They're on tour as far as I know.
So for those of you who don't know, the Deftones are touring around, and there are a number of Flat Earthers that are meeting up with Stefan in different cities. And after I got a chance to see Stefan up here in Seattle, he went down to California and went through at Los Angeles to the Forum. So while at the Forum, and it's like, and as you guys remember from episode 500, he invited us like, hey, DJ, come on out and check us out. So DJ went to the Forum, stopped for some food beforehand, and then what?
Well, then it was like, okay, so Stefan had texted me, which already was cool. I'm like, oh my God, this is becoming real. And I had hung out in LA because I really wasn't sure what time he would be ready and I wanted to be available. And so he was like, hey, we're going to meet at this time. I'm like, perfect. That gave me time to go settle in, find a parking space, get some food. So I get there and the parking people are like, oh, parking sold out. And I'm like, this whole parking lot was empty. I was like, what the heck is going on? They're like, you need to park way over. I was like, all right, no problem. That was one little hurdle. I got a spot, no problem. But I just wasn't putting two and two together that this was a sold out night at the Forum, the second night in a row. And including all the parking was sold out. So already I'm starting to get like the little bit of the butterflies, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be super fun. I mean, it's a packed event. And I get up to will call, it's closed. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm going to come back in like an hour. I wanted to get there early. I go back and there's this line and it says band member guests only. And I was like, I think that's me. I don't want to be a little too presumptuous. So I walk up to the front and the lady that's sitting there, I was like, so, this is gonna be really embarrassing if I'm not on this list since I'm in this line. And she was like, well, let's find out. And I was like, okay. She's like, what's your name? So she's going through and she's like, oh yeah, there you are. I was like, oh, whew, perfect. Not that I had any doubts, but I just didn't know what to expect. And she goes, oh, well, actually, you can go wherever you want. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, oh, you can go to their dressing room. So I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be fun. Like getting the full experience. So she hands me the wristband. She hands me the tickets. She hands me the lanyard. Oh, I'll grab it. And she's like, you can just skip security and walk right in. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go down and they're like, right this way, sir. I go through and immediately you land in the Backstage lounge, the Forum Club. And it was gorgeous. There was food everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, I just scarfed down.
You
Sizzler.
just ate.
I hadn't had Sizzler in 30 years. And honestly, the taco bar did not disappoint. But I was definitely regretting that decision once I saw how nice it was inside. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to settle in. Luckily, there's plenty of dessert. So I was like, perfect. I have room for dessert. And you could see they had a Deftones cake and it was gorgeous. Hadn't even been cut into yet. And I did take lots of pictures, but since I'm not really an influencer, I haven't posted anything. So I will send it to you. And if you want to post it, sure.
Oh, please do. I absolutely want them.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like, as I was sitting there, I had my drink in hand. I had the DJ Curious glasses. I lit them up. They said Deftones. And I'm sitting there by myself because I had invited a friend. She wasn't sure if she was going to be able to make it. So she wasn't there yet, which was fine with me. People, when you tell them the connection, like, what do you mean you're going to Deftones? And I was like, oh, Stephen Carpenter, he watches the podcast I'm on. She's like, So not that she didn't believe it, but she was more like, I don't love this flat earth connection. And that's kind of what a lot of us deal with, right?
Sure.
I mean, she's thinking, how could there be a perk with flat earth? And I was like, I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. So, I showed her that I'm in, I have my ticket. And so she's like, all right. So it was just all around a super funny experience. It was feeling very surreal at that moment. And I sent Steph a text with a picture of me just with a drink being like, hey, I'm in, don't stress about me. Because the last thing I wanted was him to be worrying about did DJ get in or not. And turns out he definitely was. And he had sent all these people to come look for me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. You're the one going on stage. Like, you're so nice. And so, he's like, stay right there. I'm having someone come and get you. So security comes down and they're all mic'd up and they've got their, their walkie-talkie thing and all the badges and stuff. He's like, you come with me. I'm like, okay. So we walk through this other line and then you get to this elevator where there's a person sitting there and she's got to like push your button. She's like, credentials, let me see. And I'm like, all right, here we go. And so we go up and then he's kind of escorting me down this hall and there's all these really great pictures of famous musicians and you're starting to get a little bit of goosebumps because it's not like I was fangirling out because, to be honest, I know Stefan from Strange World. So,
right.
And he knows me from Strange World, which is even more mind-blowing for me.
Right.
And I walk in, there was his dressing room door. It was open and he was like, yo, DJ. And I was like, oh my God, what's up? And it just was like, I was just feeling like, wow, all those people that are outside dying to get in here would love to be in this situation. And the fact that our connection was from Strange World, but even more so just the flat earth, just being open to investigating the truth. And I just was like, hey, so nice to meet you. And he was beyond welcoming and so chill. And we had our like nice moment to kind of talk and meet face to face, which he looked great and he was relaxed and he immediately just was like, I have something for you. So that's where it's like, he's handing me
nice,
a hoodie. And then he's
the glow in the dark one, by the way.
Yeah, it is a glow in the dark one. I tested it out already too.
Sweet.
And then he's got like these really cool stickers.
Yeah.
I love these like Bigfoot.
Yep. I got one of those. Sweet.
They're really cool. I mean, I love them. And then he had some other stuff too, like this Bigfoot one. You could see that.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
That one's cool. It's like the dancing. I've seen the TikToks of this one doing a Bigfoot, and then there was like this cat thing, and then really cool are these guitar picks. This one,
yep,
it says Flat Earther guitar pick, and then this is a new one that's not even out yet. It's, let me see if I can get it on. Like, okay, so it's a smiley face, but it's also the Flat Earth map.
Nice.
It's
very
so
cool.
Sorry, guys. Okay,
Very
there we
cool.
go. Yeah, it's so cool. And yeah, we just had our moment, and it was really great because I think we both were recognizing each other as just human to human. And that was really special to me, the way that he just made me feel like seen, you know, and I've been really reflecting on it since it happened, because the night just turned out to be incredible, and I don't want to drag it on any longer, but I can give you the highlights. But the point that I really want to hit home was that, you know, even a lot of us are going through that. Our friends and family, they're not giving us the time of the day with this stuff.
Right.
And someone like him, who I know, you know, when you go from the parking lot to directly to the dressing room within minutes, and you're feeling like, oh my God, all this security. And it's like everyone, all these people, all his real fans are wanting to be in that position. I was just so grateful that he was taking the time to be like, yo, DJ, you know, it was just, he just wanted me to be there and have a great time. And I did. And so then his friends trickled in, family. We had such a good time getting to know them, and they took me under their wing. And then the rest of the night was just one incredible thing after another. But getting to the sunglass or the DJ Curious.
Well, wait, let me break in for a second here. You guys don't realize. So when you get the backstage thing, you are assigned tickets. DJ showed me the tickets, which hadn't been torn because he never made it to his seat, because DJ's friends like, oh, DJ, because if you guys don't know, DJ, of course, is rather good looking. So they're like, oh, he's good, come with us. And they whisked him away. I swear to God, this is the plot from Almost Famous with Kate Hudson from back in the day. And you were backstage the entire time.
Yeah, I never had to go to my seats. And it was kind of, I didn't realize who I was talking to. I just kind of gravitated to the girls, and they were so cute, and they were like, who are you? And they started to be like, how do you know Steph? And I'm like, oh, you know, YouTube. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm on a podcast. And they're like, okay, well, what kind of podcast? What's it about? And I was like, oh, you know, like current events, weird things with the earth. And they're like, oh, you mean like flat earth? And I was like, yeah, actually, thank God, I don't have to break the ice. And they're like, oh yeah, we know all about the flat earth. And I was like, oh really? Have you looked into it? She's like, oh yeah, I could see how it could be true. And I was like, okay, cool, this is great. And
Sweet.
So then, you know, it was kind of like an immediate icebreaker, and it wasn't awkward. And we ended up hanging out before the show with Steph. I got to meet Chino. He was super chill. We're like in the back parking lots doing some stretches because they're getting ready to perform. And so as it was time for them to kind of take their last 40 minutes before the show, our group was being escorted, which we were backstage behind as the openers were on. So the music's already blaring, and you can see all the crew members and all the shipping equipment for the tour. And, you know, your heart just is already just feeling like this is exciting. And so I was thinking to myself, God, it would be really cool if I just gave him the DJ Curious glasses before the show, regardless of what happens, right? I was like, there's no way, you know, I didn't think that far ahead. I just thought if he has them, he can decide what he wants to do with them. So I ended up forgetting, because they usher us off, and he's already walking up the ramp to go, you know, clear his mind before the show. And I'm thinking, oh, I forgot to give him the glasses. So I run out. Security is, of course, looking at me. I'm not even paying attention to how this is looking. And I'm like, Steph, I want to give you these. And he was so nice. His first reaction was, oh, do you want me to hold them for you? And I was like, no, I want to give them to you. He's like, but I can't wear them on stage. I was like, that's okay. I still want to give them. I didn't want to give him any time to think. I was already feeling like I'd made this awkward. And so I just run off back down the ramp, and his friends are like, okay, get over here, you know, and we take off, and we're headed out to watch the show. So I was just sitting there thinking like, oh my God, how awkward. I didn't even show him how to turn them off. They were on already. I didn't show him how to use them. He's probably thinking like, what the hell am I going to do with these, you idiot? And I was like, oh man, that was awkward. So I just kind of tried to put it out of my mind, go enjoy the show. And luckily, we start out where we're ground level. We're behind the camera crew. We're enjoying it. The music's awesome. The set looks amazing. The lighting is incredible. I'm enjoying myself. We're dancing, having fun. And then she's like, all right, let's go. So we start and we get all the way to the front of the stage and there's this curtain and we go through and boom, we're backstage, side stage, I guess. And there they are on stage right in front of us, just from the side. We could see the set list. We could see all the crew, the sound guys, the lighting. It's like the music is blasting. It was totally intense. You're feeling that emotion. You're just like, this is epic. And moments later, she goes, DJ, he's wearing your glasses. So of course I'm screaming, they're screaming, and I'm like, no way. This is crazy. I just hope they don't run out of battery, because I know they only last for so long. So he ends up wearing the glasses for a whole song. It was epic.
It was awesome. And by the way, thank you to the people that had sent me the shots from the front, because the one bad thing was you were on the side, so you couldn't actually see what they looked like from the front because your seats were too good to see them. So people then had to film Steph wherever he was from the front and then upload them to social media. So if anybody else sees some really good shots, I can't remember the name of the song. Karen will probably have to put it in chat. The song they play where Chino's playing the guitar, where they dim the house lights and everybody turns on their phone flashlight. And
I know the song. It's Minerva, if I say that correctly.
There you go. And it was perfect. Those glasses looked awesome in that song. Absolutely awesome. Steph, I'm sure your stage manager has told you, if anyone else knows if he wore them outside of Los Angeles, outside of that show, I'd love to see them because I think they work. They absolutely work for that song.
Well, it looks cool. Yeah, it's all over TikTok. Other people had posted it from that night for that song, and you could see it from different angles. And I was like, oh my God, it's real. I didn't dream this up. So then I immediately felt better that awkward exchange ended up being fine. And I ended up getting to show him after we hung out after the show. And I was like, this was great. It was so fun. Showed him how to use them. There's an app that you can change the text. And he's like, okay. And so who knows what happens, but it did make for a very fun story. Thank you for, making it cool, Steph. And
wonderful,
man, that was just, I don't want to set the bar too high, guys, for those of you who haven't seen the show yet. So, but
to your point, Flat Earth did this, right? Steph knows us, through the show, through the podcast. He's been on the show 7 times already. I did not know he didn't know he'd been on 7 times. And it was great. Again, I loved seeing him. I did not have the experience that you did. Your experience was unique. I'm sure that others, that are meeting him in different parts of the tour, are going to have different experiences. I can't wait to find out if Randy gets tickets. I know he's looking, and he could be the first puppet to actually get backstage passes if it happens. But I think it would be awesome. But I am so amazingly happy for you. You had the perfect rock and roll night. In fact, it exceeded. I couldn't have written that. The people you got to hang out with. The fact you never even made it to your seat. The fact you were in the green room before the band even came back after the show.
I know. I feel like the bar is super high. Sorry.
Yeah,
Steph,
the bar is
don't
really
feel like
high, man.
Outdo yourself. That was awesome. I'm eternally grateful. I know how many fans would have loved him in that situation. So I just was like, but it is Flat Earth, and it is the fact that we're both truth seekers. He loves the show, and it is something new for me. That when you get into Flat Earth, you don't really think of the perks that could come with like something like this, because immediately your mind goes to how much downside there could be for now of looking like a fool, people being mocking you, people you have to worry about what your friends and family, your work is going to think, et cetera, et cetera. And luckily I signed up for all of that when I started Strange World 7 months ago. And so I'm not I know the upside is, as this continues to unfold and people come to research not just the shape of the earth, where Flat Earth is just a blanket term for where is the earth and are we really spinning, and people willing to investigate all different kinds of conspiracies. And that's really what Flat Earth means to me. It's not just the shape, which I believe is measured flat and we observe too far. It's more of where is the earth. And that's where Steph and I really connected and had a really cool exchange that I'm just going to keep for myself. But it gave me more energy in the sense of like, hey, there's people out there that are listening, and I've been so blessed to get really wonderful emails and messages. The upside has already far exceeded my expectations, because not everybody in my friends and family will even let me tell them this story, let alone care about it or watch the show. And I know there's other people in that situation. So I want to make sure that I represent what it means to show your face to the internet, talking, even just discussing flat earth, and knowing that the other side is trying to do everything in their power to make it this blanket term for ridiculousness, when really it encompasses so much more of just questioning things and being on the side of maybe not having all the answers, but seeking the truth. And for me, you know, my mind goes to, where is the earth is more important than the shape. The shape's important. And if the earth happens to be in a really special location with our creator, who I believe is Jesus, and what does that mean for me? I'm figuring out, you know, I'm still studying and learning. It just gives me so much hope. And so thank you, Steph, for making that a really fun night. And I hope I did it justice, because it really was epic.
You did. Cool. I can tell you right now, you absolutely did. It was wonderful. Again, the bar has been set high. Can anyone top it? We'll see.
I'm sorry.
Because there are a number of people. Again, Marty's going to meet him in Nashville. David and Alex are going to meet him in Madison Square Garden. Karen and crew is going to meet him down in Charlotte. And who am I leaving out? I don't know. Maybe Randy. We'll see. And so, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Okay, before we bring on our special guest tonight, I want to do a quick mailbag. I only got one thing in the mail. In fact, it was yesterday, by 2 children's books, actually. One by Sylvia Halpert, The Secret of the Tides, How God Cleans His Aquarium. Thought that was kind of neat. Thank you, Sylvia, for sending that. And Where Do We Live on a Spinning Ball or Stationary Plane, written and illustrated by Sylvia. There you go. Very nice. Thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate that. And that will go into my Flat Earth literature collection right over there. So thank you, Sylvia. Really, really nice. And she sent me a nice letter, which I won't go into too much. Okay, before we bring on Alex Lowry, Peanut, could you unmute just for a second and say hello to everyone and confirm that, yes, indeed, not dead?
How about if I just say I'm undead?
Undead, that'll work. Just so you know, if you guys missed it, Peanut's our silent producer behind the scenes, and he has been sick for at least 2 months. And I was starting to get a little worried. And so people have been reaching out. It's like, what's happening with Peanut?
He's alive.
So, he is alive.
He's not unalived.
He's not unalive. So thank you, Peanut. We're gonna leave you up on screen for a little while. Just let everyone know he's good. He's back, and he actually missed the transition from OBS into StreamYard. Okay.
I should probably show that there will be a new DJ Curious glasses.
Ooh, there's your electric glasses.
If anyone is interested, you get them from Chemion. And for a cool $79.99, you can have your own DJ Curious glasses that I have nothing to do with.
I know. I'm so hoping he wears them. I mean, seriously, his stage manager, he should ask his stage managers, like, what do you think? I think they totally work with that song. I mean, I looked from all different angles, and they were so cool. Very cool. Are you going to try to do that while our guests? Ooh, those are nice. Are they same as the last ones?
Oh, yeah, they're the same. I was like, want to just stick with what works.
They look like glasses from the future.
So
and again, DJ taking from my neon glasses days from back in 2017 and taking it up a notch with his customizable text glasses. So very cool.
A fresh pair, but Steph will always have the OG.
Yeah, he'll have the original. So very cool.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's just get this out of the way, because again, there are guests that I enjoy talking to. There's guests I look forward to, and then there's Lowry. So let's turn on his camera for a sec and see what's happening before I even get into the intro, which I'm working on as we speak. Wow.
Are we on the right show? I had several links for, this is like the wrong self-help group for Tuesday, I think.
How do I introduce Lowry? Okay. When did I first? We'll get into the questions. I'm sure DJ's got questions, and Peanut doesn't have questions.
I'm going to turn this off so it doesn't cause seizures.
How?
No, don't turn it off. Don't turn it off.
No strobing effect. When did I first meet Lowry? and Nicole, otherwise known as Nico. Oh wow, probably back at that party. It was like 10 years ago in Soho, over in the UK. It was a wild, wild evening. I walk in, Lowry's laying on the couch, just high as a freaking kite, and he's like, "Hey, man." It's like, "Hey," right? He goes, "The drugs are free, whatever." And I go, "Why are they free?" He goes, "I don't know where they came from." It's like, okay. All right, that's fine. And he just kind of waved me off, with his hand, like, just dismissed me. It's like, so I go to another room, and Nico's there, and she's sitting in a chair staring at an easel with a completely white blank canvas. And I say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she goes, "I'm painting." And I look down and I go, "But there's no paint. There's no brushes. What's happening here?" And she goes,
Obviously,
"No,
you
no."
don't have an imagination.
It's like she points to her head and she goes, no. In my mind, I'm doing this. And I go, "Really?" I go, how's that? How's it going? She goes, "Almost done." And she just nods at the canvas, and I go, "Okay." And I really hoped at that point that I would never see either of them again. And yet, here we are, years later. No, okay. First off, none of that story is true, even though you guys both know it could.
So you say, buddy.
I was like, wow, what
So
dimension
you
is
say.
that? Like, what timeline was that in, Mark? Tell me.
Absolutely could have been
more.
true. Absolutely. No. Alex, if you guys don't know, Alex Lowry, he is the composer of the song Myres, which we have been running at the end of our show for a number of years. And thank you, of course, for letting us do that. It's a cool song. I love that song. I do. It was sent to me, and I've always dug it for whatever reason. I don't get tired of it. And
I've been 10 years on this episode. Well, probably not 10, maybe like 9, 8.5 to 9.
Yeah.
And you just bring me on just tonight, just for the first time ever, just tonight, after 9.5 years.
Okay. First,
that's some bullshit, dude.
First, I have to thank my gorgeous co-host DJ. Is like, we really should bring him on.
You brought DJ on before me. You brought DJ on before me.
And no, DJ and I went back and forth.
I feel guilty about that.
It was one of the only conversations where I thought one of us was going to hang up on each other. He's like, "Look, we need to." I was like, "Oh my God, man, stop it. I don't like either of them." And DJ, come on. It's not that bad. It'll be fine. And I go, all right. I'll do it.
Are you like 5? Because like that's what kids say. Like, "Oh, you know what? Oh, Mom,
Mark is pulling your chain."
And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's because he likes you."
So no. I had the pleasure. I honestly, Alex, I don't remember the first time I met you because you've been on the scene here and there for years.
I do, because you put your number on internet. And I was like, "There's no way this dude put his number."
Oh, you called? Internet. Well, yeah, you called me.
Sure. Yeah, I was standing outside of a bar like 2 blocks up over here. And I was like, this was like fresh off my holy shit, the earth isn't what I thought it was. And I'm just gonna call this guy. I'm just like, this dude is not real. He's not real. And I called him. I don't think I got you on the first time, but then I was like, well, I'll just like leave a message. And then you called back, and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, dude. This dude called me back. And I'm like, whoa, dude. So like I immediately unloaded like 20 years of conspiracy in about 5 minutes on you. And I was like, this guy can't be real. He can't be real. Yeah, it happened. It happened for real. It really did. I was just like, this dude put his number on the internet.
My phone number, by the way, guys, it's still out there. In fact, I'll flash whoever calls me. It's 303-494-6631. I've had this number for 20 something years.
Wait.
You just doxed yourself.
What was
again.
the number?
No. I mean, it's on my 303-494. Somebody put it in chat. 6631. Anybody can call it at any time. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to pick up. And please don't text me because I don't return text.
Oh, but, this is hard to text on.
But no, if you text me, I'll read it. But I just won't text back.
Do you think you missed like your ultimate opportunity to like for a mainstream job of like regular radio voice? Like you could have just taken a regular radio job where you report the news and just talked about stuff, and you got such a good radio voice. You could have just like done that and never had any of this effie nonsense in your back pocket or anything. You just could have just like ridden life out like a sailboat, just out to sea.
Really
first off, thank you for that. I appreciate it. However, I was never encouraged because I didn't really develop anything until I got into tech support when I got out to Boulder. And my high school was so small, I didn't hang out with the theater crowd. God, I wish I would, because I'd love the theater girls. And then when I got into, there we go. Who's that called from? Jasso, Laufenberg, wherever you are. 512 area code.
You should just take some calls you should just put it on speaker and just take some calls.
No, we're not doing that yet. This is a guest show. I want to talk about you guys.
All right.
Thank you for that, Lowry. But in the end, no, I think it worked out. I mean, I did tech support for a number of years and got to use my skills on a one-on-one basis because I would calm down people that were on the other end of the phone. I mean, things were burning around them. You know, the money was being lost everywhere, and it's like, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm here with you. You know, that whole thing. And it worked. So I did that for a number of years. No, Flat Earth, I have no regrets whatsoever at all. But anyway, yes, I called you back because you called me. And if you leave a sincere message and you sound like you're not insane or drunk or both.
I was both at that time, and I might still be both now, but I'm glad you called me back.
That's true. You were a little bit up when you called me. I got to admit. I put you on speaker and I just set the phone down and I just crossed my arms like, okay, how long is this going to go?
I mean, like if you ask anybody that's like been down this road, like in FE land, like all of us felt insane for the first, like, I don't know, for 2 years for me. You know, I didn't come out for 2 years. I was like, this is stupid. I can't do this. This is dumb. And I don't want to do it. And I was just making up stories to myself.
Totally.
Sorry. By the way, two things. We're going to be kind of all over the place, guys. You do your own podcast called Tinfoil Sombrero.
Yep, the tinfoil. We call it the shit show sombrero, but sometimes it's tinfoil sombrero.
And DJ is on it from time to time, or is he on it all the time?
He's on there all the time. He saves the broadcast pretty much every week because when we get off into the bramble, DJ brings it back. He's like the you know, there's a sail ship. He's at the wheel, and the rest of us are dangling from the sails out over the water, just like, oh, I'm swinging out over here, and like the rest of us, and then DJ brings it back.
You're being too sweet. No, honestly, Alex does an amazing job, and we do share the tinfoil sombrero experience together, and I want to give them a shout out really quick. Just welcome to the show, to Strange World. It's my pleasure to have you here. I felt like you guys were some of the most welcoming people that I met in Vegas, my first meetup. And Alex, this is before Strange World. You made me feel also seen, and you were just like, yo, dude, you would recognize me from being just a caller on this. And I was like, wow, this guy's cool. And he's looking at me like just making me feel just totally welcomed. And I really appreciated it when I met you in Vegas. I don't think you even realized. And you guys were so cute running around, and Nico's also been so welcoming and just a ball of love and energy and light. And to share Tinfoil Sombrero, where we get to kind of be a little bit more laid back than Strange World. We get to there really isn't much structure, but I think that there's always a gold, a nugget that we can get from our guest. That I do appreciate that how much effort you guys have put into making that show great. So welcome to Strange World, though. This is definitely long overdue, and happy 3/11 day.
We went through all the old calls. And we were trying to figure out, we were going to put together a cut tonight. And I was like, dude, I just realized that I'm going to have to go through, I wanted to say it was like 80 weeks of calls or something. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to put together that cut for this show. It was like, I have to go scroll through each one. Because I think I did start calling in like 2017 or something when you were still on TFR. And then I was like, dude, that's going to be way too much work. I can't do that. I'm like, because there were some really good nuggets along the way. But like really what it was like, Mark, for you, it was like getting my chops for like doing broadcast. I'm used to getting on stage and playing music for people, but like broadcasting with a mic and in front of a TV camera is a whole different bugger. And like I cut my chops like basically on the phone. I wasn't actually doing video with you for all those years, but like it was like basically like, there's a lot of people that call into Strange World, especially back in the day. They were very serious. There were some serious topics and people really suffering from some stuff. And like I would be like, well, how do I make this funny for at least like 5 minutes? And I was like, oh, try to do this, try to do that, just to keep like some levity. And then that kind of, got me onto the, Rico was the one that asked me to do the broadcasting. I was like, I don't know if I want to broadcast for, out in FE land. I didn't know if I wanted to do it. And Rico's like, no, you have to do it. I was like, why do I have to do it? Why do I have to do it? You're the one that wants to do it. He's like, because you know how to run the controls and push the buttons. I'm like, I don't really. you know, and so
Well,
like,
shout out to Rico for
yeah,
he has
Rico.
a good eye. He has a good eye for front man, and that's exactly what you are. You are a front man, all through and through, and you do an amazing job of kind of keeping it. We like to see the show through your lens, and you bring something that other people aren't doing, and it's really fun and cool. And I love that I get to kick back and just experience what you guys could do easily without me. Because Lowry, don't sell yourself short. You have a really good sense of what you have your finger on the pulse of what people think would be interesting. You add so much to every conversation, and I'm just excited to hear your journey and share with our viewers how you got into flat earth and where it's led you and what you think's happening, and just kind of go from there.
This is why we have a DJ, Mark. This is why we have a DJ, because he's the guy that keeps it all together. The rest of us are just mad people out here wandering around. I don't know, like you want to talk about flat earth or whatever. I've never been better in FE land, especially after the disaster that happened. We're not going to talk about it tonight, but like this winter, it's, you know, we like, if you're grounded in the measurements, and if you're grounded in the way you look at the world, and you went out and did it yourself, and you looked at it, and you made a real responsible adult decision about what you look at this reality as, you don't really worry about all this nonsense that's going on. It just doesn't matter. It's like what's measurable. Show me what's measurable. Show me, if you come back here, and I've said this a million times, but I'll say it again tonight. Bring me proof of curvature. We've been looking for it for 10 years. Show me that. Show me gas pressure without a container. I'll come back to Narnia. And I'll say that over and over and over again. Nobody can do it. They won't do it because they can't do it. You know, so like the drama this winter was like, it is a little weird, but like, it doesn't matter because it just fades. It's like the whole thing fades when you boil it down to like what you can actually measure. And, you know, and like, I'm a musician, and like, I'm good enough to go out and measure stuff, and I know how to like do that. I spent way too much money on an education in biology, but maybe I'm getting some back from that, from the scientific method stuff and everything else, but whatever, man. It's just like, it's not that hard, you know, guys, just boil it down and keep it real. And, you know, you got to keep me from ranting, Mark, because I'll go off on the side.
No. Yeah, you can't hang up on him right now.
No, that's what I have Peanut for. I told Peanut, it's like, he keeps going. Give me a technical difficulty if I like wink twice or something.
We used to like, I remember like back in the day, we used to like race to see who would hang up on each other faster.
Right.
And I was winning, and then finally you beat me like one night. I was like, fuck, you beat me. You hung up on me before I hung up on him.
Well, no, because there was a hook to it, and that was we preface it like a question. And you know what else I was thinking? Click. It's like, that reminds me of a story. Click. You know, you just hang up, and it's just random moments, but you'd set it up like you were gonna go into something. No, you weren't. Like, it was over.
I mean, those were most of my most fun years. Like basically, like, because I was wanting to meet people out in the community, and like I always told people, I was like, look, you're talking to people on screens all day long, but if you go out to like one of Karen's things, or a meetup or whatever, actually meet people in real life, then you can get over these little worries that people get in their hearts about, oh, he's a shill, he's up to something. It was like, if you actually go out and meet people and meet them in real life, you realize they're real people. A lot of this drama that happens on the internet kind of goes away, because you're like, these people made an effort to come to a place, and it's sometimes great distances to come and talk about, oh, I don't know, cosmology, the places that we walk around in. I'd like to know what that is. Right. What I ramble around on, when I get up to my daily experiences, and I'd like to know that it's not spinning. And I'd like to meet some other people that also understand that it's not spinning. I'd like to meet some people that understand that it's not really high math, it's geometry and trig. It's not really that hard if you go back and revisit it and boil it back down. And like, you meet these people, and they're real people, and they made an effort to go out and meet you, as opposed to like somebody you might be talking to halfway across the realm over here. They might not even be the real person that you're talking to. They might be a fake person. They might be a troll. They might be whatever, right. But you meet them in real life. And let's just go back to what DJ said about Vegas. It's like, well, that's why we would go out to Vegas. That's why we'd go to Greensboro. That's why we went to all those meetups. It's just, I want to make sure these people are real. I want to make sure that they're not bullshitting me. I want to make sure this isn't just some sort of con, and that's where I was always at,
the people that again, I can't encourage it enough for people out there. The meetups are such a validation, and the conferences are such a validation for what you already know, which is why even though the Flat Earth community within itself has so many different aspects and fringes, again, nobody likes the exact same list of things that the other person doesn't like, but when you get to the conferences, that just melts away. I have yet to see people go to blows even in the lobby. You know, it's like at the common ground is like, oh yeah, the globe's a piece of garbage. You know, the globe doesn't work, therefore we understand each other. We may not agree on all the minutia of it, but the energy at the conference, especially Vegas, when I ran to you, and in fact, Nico, I'm pretty sure that was the first time we met was Vegas. Yeah. By the way, Nico, she's as good in real life as what you're seeing here on screen. It's like, seriously, I've not been shy about. Yeah, there you go.
You look so cute. I love your hat.
Because she was jumping around trying to help with audio visual stuff that was happening on the stage in Vegas. I'm going, who's this? Where have I not seen her before? No, you make an impression, and I
kind of dropped her into the fire, Mark. I was like, look, are you cool with like Flat Earth? Because like we've known each other for 15 years, but we never.
I saw you go through the whole entire thing.
She watched me go through the whole thing. I was like, you want me to drop you into this right now? Because we're gonna go out to Vegas, and you're gonna like be in the middle of like this really crazy, strange world. And she's like, hell yeah, I'm going. She's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna be there. And it turns out she had heard about Effie long before I'd ever talked to her about it. So like. You know, it's like I wouldn't want to drop anybody that's remotely on like level 1 of the stairway of 30 or 40 or 50 into an FE conference, because like you're just going to get lost and you're going to want to go to the bar and never come back. You know, that's just what it is.
Right.
You know,
but yeah. By the way, wasn't it fun? Or it's always fun to watch, because I don't know why they do it. It's like a challenge. DJ hasn't seen it a little bit, which is you'll have hardcore FE members that will bring a +1 to a conference just as sort of like they want to blindside them. It's like, come with me to this thing I'm doing, right? What is it? Oh, it's a convention thing, you know?
Yeah, don't do that. It's just never.
They'll sit down, you know, like they'll make sure they'll put them in like the middle of an aisle so they can't get out, and then the speakers will come up talking, and all of a sudden they're like, What's happening up on
that's
stage?
like someone's worst nightmare. That's why my friend didn't come to Deftones, even though she loved the band. She's like, I saw them open for Incubus before, and this is like their big moment in an arena. And she's like, oh yeah, maybe I'll make it. And it actually worked out fine for me, but I knew why. It was because she just didn't want to have a Flat Earth win.
Oh, hey, wait, before I let Alex chime in, I got there was a point I wanted to make, DJ, and that is don't forget, folks, DJ went to the concert alone. And that is a freaking crime. They gave you 2 tickets anyway. I think that's the bare minimum. You got 2 tickets just in case it's like you had forgotten, right? Sorry, if that happens next year or next time they're in town, you let me know and I will fly down and I will be your date.
Hey,
we are going as a
that ticket. Somebody would have paid you like $1,000.
I know. We will go as a couple if you don't get someone to go with you next time, because
that'd be fun anyway, just to go and experience it.
Yeah,
Steph would probably love that, and it was, but I think it worked out in my favor that I was by myself. It just kind of made it easier for me to get in everywhere that I didn't really have access to without just being by myself and with the right people.
Oh, on a quick side note, DJ, you haven't flashed the Backstage pass. You might want to if you have the lanyard next to you.
Oh yeah, let me grab it.
But there's a reason why when you get the lanyard, they put you in a special door and you just don't go in the general admission line, because if you were wearing that, DJ, you'd probably get mugged. It's like somebody sees you wearing a Backstage pass, you might as well be wearing a gold bar around your neck. And there would be people coming up to you basically right and left saying, you know, because the normal people, it's like, yeah, extra tickets. And they'd see you and be like, grab 2 of his friends, and they would roll DJ and throw him into a van somewhere.
You know, there's a little secret too that happens.
There it is. Put it up close to the camera.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, musical trivia, people, who is the person in the picture? Can you put it even closer? I know who it is because I'm an 80s kid.
Is it Patty? No, it's
Gloria Estefan?
No,
nope, that is Apollonia.
Oh my god, that was my first album.
Apollonia, one of Prince's girlfriends from back in the day. In fact, I'm not mistaken, she was in the movie Purple Rain. So yeah, they pick, like one time they picked Linda Carter. Apollonia is an interesting choice, but they pick retro hotties. So sorry.
One
Anyway,
little piece of advice I would give to everyone is like whenever you do get a plastic thing backstage, you know, your little badge or whatever, save them all, because if you put enough around your neck, you can just literally walk through security to any concert ever, and they just don't even look at you because it's just
true.
You have so many. You just because I got a lot of them from touring and I got a lot of them from going to concerts, and now I just bring them with me wherever I go, and people just see there's so many lanyards. They're just like, I'm not gonna, you know. Then you just go backstage and eat their food in the green room. It's
nice.
Kind of a secret little trick.
Little fun fact. See, that's why you're cool. It's like, all right, someone should try that.
These little tricks you learn over
so
time.
how long? Because for those of you who also don't know, Lowry and Nico are living in dreary old Manhattan, and is like, okay, you know, one blows me away that Nico has become this epitome of city girl, and you're from where originally?
Kansas City. Oh, actually, originally Emporia, Kansas. I was born in Emporia, which is an hour and a half southwest of Kansas City, and I spent my first 23 years of my life in the Midwest, and I got to New York 26 or 27. I can't remember exactly, but I was.
2005.
It's been 20 years ago, something like that.
And
do the math.
Nico started in Michigan.
Detroit. She's Detroit.
I'm actually, I hail from Romeo, Michigan. So I'm from the same town as Kid Rock.
Wow.
And then I took a one-way ticket to New York City on New Year's Eve 2006. And I've been here ever since.
Wow.
And I met this guy.
We met 15 years ago.
No, it was no, because you were playing at Vivaldi. So we probably met. You
17
dated
years
Abby.
Ago. Yeah.
And no regrets. New York all the way.
Yeah, with New York's.
Well, yeah, there's regrets like every day when you go to the Subway or you know go and get eggs.
New York is the heyday that we came here is it's fading. It's fading, and we're probably working on an exodus sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But we suck the marrow out of the bone here in New York City, and we love the city, but it's not what it used to be. And of course, I'm a complete, and so well, she doesn't. Not as many people know her, but me, like you know, everybody knows like I'm the flat Earth guy in the neighborhood, and they just avoid me like the plague. No. So I'm like, okay, whatever, guys, that's fine. You know, I mean, to each their own. You know, but like,
I think you find out who, like DJ said many times, you find out who the real people are, the people that want to know, that want to go outside of their comfort zone and re-look at the world, you know, look at a new perspective. And I treasure those people so much more than the people that just kind of give you a wide berth. And I've got a bunch that no, I can imagine it's not easy, especially
it's fascinating when you like one of the most I guess the most striking things that happened to me was like, you know, everyone has their breakthrough when they finally get their arms around it, if they truly do. The concept is that you start to notice how people look at you. If they found out that you're looking at it, or if they even think that you're looking at it, or if they see it on your computer screen, say you're sitting in a bar and you're looking through some videos, you're doing some research. If they see that, their reaction to you is completely different. They don't see you as the same person they saw before, and you can. It's palpable. You can see someone else looking at you in a completely different way, knowing that they know that you're looking at the world in a completely different way. That's weird. And that's a tough one. And that was like one of the tough ones. And now it's kind of fading off now. They're starting to talk about flat Earth, even though it's still not cool enough for them or whatever. But like I turn on Dave's app and I'm like, there's 40 blue dots within like 3 blocks, but they won't come to a meetup. I had a meetup right down here with a rock show. Even Weiss was up here. There's a bunch of like people that were going to be there. And we had 10, 15 people in New York City. Nope, you will not know that I'm a flat earther. You will not know. I will not come out. But there's like literally within 4 blocks, there's 40 blue dots. So like,
and yet you can do a meetup just about anywhere you want in the country, and you know, just say restaurant, you know, gonna meet here, put the promo on my channel, and people will show. I don't want to use the cliches, like, you know, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah,
but it's true. I mean, you know, I've seen flat earthers that the bold ones, and granted a couple, but I've seen also the ones that'll go away. I've seen it all, where like
I was gonna say, here's a fun one, Mark. Have you noticed the ones that come up and they look at you?
Yep.
They're approaching, and they I think that's the person, and then they turn around and walk back to the car and leave. We saw one here at the New York when I was like, they looked right at us. I've seen people hesitated and walked back to their car and left.
Oh, dude, I've seen people not get out of their cars. I've seen them pull up and it's like, and they're staring and they're like,
Yeah.
nope, can't do it. It's too real.
Yeah.
It's too real for them. They can't do it. The very first meetup I ever did, which was the second meetup of all time, up in Seattle, there was a couple. I saw them walking to the bar to check out the restaurant where we were already sitting, and they're looking and they're going, and they like talk themselves out of it. It's like, should we go? Yeah, we should go. And I watched them walk away, and it's like, I'm not going to chase them down. It's everybody's at their own pace. But
it is nerve-wracking, right? You're like,
it
am I
is.
really this
It can be
crazy right
really-
now?
And then, but everybody that goes, everybody that stays, I have never run into somebody at a conference or emailed me after the fact that didn't have, they all say the same thing. It's like, oh, I'm so glad I came. It was so much fun meeting everybody, because once you walk in the room, you realize you're all on the same radio station.
Yeah.
Your vibration raises.
Yeah, the resonation of everybody is just wonderful and warming. I kid you not, the first conference that we did in Raleigh years ago, nobody slept, because even when you went back to your room, the energy was still, it was winding up like a turbine, and you couldn't sleep, to where it's like, I might as well get up, go down and have breakfast. There's going to be people there.
Yeah.
And it never went away. And
that's what's so interesting. Most people that get into Flat Earth aren't looking for it, including myself.
None of us wanted this shit, man. None of us did.
No, and that's the thing. It's like, it acts like it's such a community. It finds you, and then you go, okay, is this really happening? And then you realize are we spinning? Oh wait, maybe we're not spinning. And then, are we really in space? And I was already questioning space, and I loved the idea of space and taking at face value everything NASA was feeding us for years, until it started to fall apart in other ways, where I just was questioning, what are they really doing up there? And then you get to the flat side, it's like, hey, yeah, you can question everything. So, it's an interesting time right now to be talking about all this, because we've experienced what's happening, and it's fine. Like, people can come and go as you please, do it. But at the same time, it's like you're going to have to go and create a whole new model and put it somewhere. And I wish that the best.
Yeah. Before we go to break, real fast, I don't want to forget this analogy, because you guys just made me think of it, which was, it shows us. You know what it reminds me of? And I know this is an old movie. I know I do a lot of pop culture references, but you'll get this. The original Close Encounter of the Third Kinds, I believe it was 1978. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And
start making potatoes, the potato.
Yeah, where all of a sudden it's somewhere in your head, and you are compelled to do it, and everyone around you thinks you're nuts. The Richard Dreyfuss character, where he was trying to mold the Devil's Tower in Wyoming out of potatoes.
Yeah,
that happens to everybody in different ways, and it's like, I was compelled to drive 3 hours to this meetup. I was compelled to do this and fly out and do this and go out and shoot photography and do laser experiments and all this. You're compelled to do it. Anyway, we're going to our one and only break, and what we'll do is you guys will all be shifted to the side. It's not going to be completely maxed, and then when we come back, we will keep rolling. What?
Did you hear what's on his eyes?
He's got new glasses.
His super glasses. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do this, and let's do, which one is this? Break. Here we go.
See you guys in a bit.
Right.
And I'll watch chat.
Introducing the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App Meetup Maker. Never miss another meetup again. You can look up meetups in several different ways. Sort by date. You can search by location or within a 500-mile radius. To create and list your own meetup, enter the date. Give the meetup a name, a location name. Add a photo. Enter your contact information. Create a group chat name and then fill out the description with all of the details. Select your background color and hit the Save button to add your meetup to the list. Once the meetup is saved, it will ask you to create a group chat for all of the meetups so people can join the group and start a local chat community. Select public group. Add your welcome message, and your meetup is now available for all to see. To make sure you don't miss another meetup in your area, you can select your desired radius and whether you want push notifications or email or both. Whenever a new meetup is added in your selected radius, you get notified. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock Meetup Maker, bringing people together all around the plane.
Join me, Karen B, for Coffee Talk every Moon Day at 9:30 a.m. on YouTube, Rumble, Rockfin, Odyssey, and X, where we discuss everything under the sun. Sometimes we do live research, and I open the phones. It's a great way to start the week. Shout out to Mark Sargent, Steph Tone, and all the real ones out there. And now, enjoy the rest of Strange World with the legendary Mark Sargent and DJ Curious. Stay flat, y'all.
Aw, thanks, Karen.
I love this track.
I have a fantastic video of Alex doing karaoke today.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 2. It's you, me, the always delightful DJ Curious, the always invisible Peanut Gallery, and our special guests, Alex and Nico from New York.
Oh, man, thanks for having us on. Finally.
Well, again, contract,
Finally.
stuff, it's obligation, really, more than anything. No, I mean, seriously, when Lowry calls me up and he says, how much do I have to pay you to be on the freaking show? That sticks with you, because then I had to think about it, and it's like, you know what? We'll be fine.
I had this whole setup.
Wait, you're not paying me.
Oh,
see,
that's awkward.
See, you got a routine on that.
Dude, I'm not getting paid shit.
Well, anyway, you know what? That was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album
Night and Day.
Woo! Sorry, Peanut. I actually was staring at you doing that. And it's like, I'll get to it. Because Peanut's now, since he's back, he bothers me in the private chat. It's like, say the line. Say the line. Dance, monkey.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Lisbeth, because we gave her kind of a hard time when she first came on the show a long time ago. But she's turned out to be kind of a sweetheart. So, like, I was the guy raising hell in the chat, because, like, he was, it was an interesting winter. So, Lisbeth, if you're listening, I hope your fever is breaking.
Yeah, shout out to Lisbeth. Hope you're feeling better soon, sweetie. And we missed.
Hey, look, if Peanut Gallery can come back, Lisbeth can come back. I have no doubt.
Yeah, she'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, that's funny how that works out, right, Lowry? I remember calling you and be like, could you not harass the guest, please?
Yeah, I was a little rough on her. I was just doing due diligence. That's all I was doing. I was just checking. I was just making sure. It's like I'm not nearly as hard as some people are on people, but when it comes to like certain things, I'm protective.
So
yeah. Anyway, there we go.
Wait. Before we get on, who was messaging me? There's somebody.
You put your number on the internet again tonight. You doxed yourself.
No, Peanut. Something happened with Peanut, and he dropped off. Let me see if I can get Peanut back. 1 second. Oh, that's not
Randy.
Peanut.
I'm not Randy. No.
What?
Who is that?
No.
Hey, Randy.
No.
Randy, you didn't call me. Why didn't you call me?
Who?
I gave you my number, and you just didn't even call me.
What's going on there?
Frozen.
No, you're not. You're good. You're perfect.
No, you're good.
Frozen. Yeah. So what's going on, guys?
Hey.
Really?
Hey. You know,
Hey.
that's what a funny talking horse likes to eat if it's fermented. Yeah.
Have you been drinking?
No.
Randy?
Oh, no, man.
Right.
That's not me, man. I'm not that guy anymore. Now, a long time ago, yeah, I was really good at it. And I ended up under the table collecting bodies, but no more. Not me, man. No, let me get adjusted here. I got a little wedgie. Where'd that come from? I don't know.
Yeah, that's something way up there.
Whoa. Say
Hey,
no to
Randy,
crack.
welcome.
Welcome, Randy. It's been a while. How have you been keeping yourself?
Pretty good, man. Yeah.
So silly.
Keeping it flat, looking at the chandeliers, still trying to figure out what everybody's fussing about, you know?
I love lamps.
I love lamp.
Man, I need them. I need lamps. I do. I got a bunch of them over here. I got a bunch of them. Look, here we are back here. Whoa, hey, everybody. But yeah.
So I have heard through channels that you have tried to contact Stefan and see if you could be the first puppet to actually go backstage at a Deftone show. Is this true? Did you reach out?
Yes. I did. And I have fuzzy thumbs, so I don't know if he actually got the message. I did not hear anything back from him. But what I will tell you is the message has been sent and the pigeon has not returned.
All right. Well, I have
He's
high
busy.
hopes. I have high hopes for you because I know that he's a fan. I know that you made a guest spot on episode 500, and when he was here, and he seemed to enjoy it. So I'm hoping that you two can hook up. So I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, I want to be the first puppet to moonwalk at one of their shows.
Oh, I don't know if they'd allow that.
Well, hang on a minute, man. I saw Apollonia on there. What's going on? Why can't I moonwalk? I mean, or how about this? I would love to surf.
You can't surf, Randy, because you're
Crowd surf, man, right? All day, the whole show. The whole show. Pass me around like a beach ball at a Beach Boys concert, man.
Oh my God.
I'm all in.
Randy crowd surfing.
Oh my God, that's actually a great idea.
That was so epic.
It is risky because there's a chance you're not
My
coming
ball.
back from that.
No. There will be 5 or 6 hidden apple tags in certain parts of my anatomy that we will not talk about right now.
Like your kidneys?
What else is fuzzy besides your thumbs?
The kidneys went away a long time ago. We already talked about that guy.
Oh.
All right.
That was a long time ago. Kidneys, liver, I don't need them anymore. Woo! Go back over there.
Yeah, it's just,
where'd they go?
So
Bon voyage kidneys.
Randy, you're old enough to know who Randy, you're old enough to know who Apollonia is. Are you a rock and roll fan?
Well, yeah, man, it's Apollonia. I made out with her in 6th grade, and then I woke up. You know,
She
we
was
all did. We all did. If you saw Purple Rain, you made out with Apollonia at least one time in study hall.
That's weird, dude.
Nice.
That's freaking weird.
Nice.
Being truthful. What's so weird about it? I mean,
There's nothing weird about
like
it.
you didn't. Like you didn't. By
I
the
mean,
way,
the first time I
want
heard,
my-
what was it?
I
The
want
Prince
my
song?
hat back and my
Purple Rain.
alien glasses.
No, it wasn't Purple Rain. It was Lisa's. It was like the one really pornographic Prince song. Is that the one with your fuzzy thumbs and your fuzzy other things? Is that what that was? Was it Lisa's? What the hell was the name of that song?
I mean, Raspberry Beret is one of my favorite ones.
It was like porn music. Prince was porn music. Sorry, it just was. It is what it is.
I remember my
Come on,
parents
come on.
going
One of
to.
my favorite. Somebody asked me from a radio station some years ago. They said, "What's the sexiest song you ever heard?" And it's "Erotic City" by Prince.
Yeah, that's Erotic City. That's right.
That was one of my early makeout songs from the early 80s, and
Smooth
I'd
Operator.
never heard it before, and she put that thing on loop. I was like, wow, that just
Then
fantastic.
did you have like a hickeys?
And it turned into a little red Corvette.
Prince was one of those characters. I mean, I was a kid that couldn't really figure out what the appeal was, especially when he showed up on stage with those assless chaps or whatever. What were you guys thinking? Was that cool back then? I don't know.
I was a kid.
You were a kid too? Yeah.
I was like
Privileged
8.
people garage sale purchase.
He was one of those early
I don't know.
showmen.
Where do you get those at?
I don't know. He just had this. He had this.
Great on you, Randy.
Maybe he made them in home ec in his junior year or something. It's like people are like, that's never gonna fly. He's like, oh yeah, watch this. Hey, what's that other guy say? From the time, Morris Day. Hey, Morris, you don't believe me? Watch this. I'm putting out assless chaps. Watch. And they're gonna love it. And I'm putting on some heels too. Watch this. Guess what? I got a Grammy.
I mean, it was probably
That's what
like hot
Prince said.
couture from Balenciaga or something like that he was wearing.
So funny. I mean, look, he's an amazing songwriter, performer, music. But I remember as a kid being like, what is happening?
Oh yeah. Oh no. He was. Look,
That was definitely
Randy
not
and
for
I are
kids.
roughly the same age, but when Purple Rain came out, wow, that album hit. It just
They didn't have Craigslist back then, or I would have been looking for a purple bike, man. Because you know what? Every chick wanted to ride on the back of one.
Yeah.
For
Hey
real.
Randy, when you eat chicken McNuggets, that shit gets stuck in your beard, right? Does
No,
you just
I
like
don't
you have
eat
leftover?
No,
What exactly is
I
Purple
don't
Rain?
eat chicken McNuggets. Purple Rain?
Yeah, like what exactly is Purple Rain? Have you ever seen purple? Like raindrops are not purple. So
Oh man. You
somebody
don't know
look
Purple-
that up. The origin of the Purple Rain song.
like is there something weird with that? But I do remember my parents leaving us with a babysitter when they went to go see Purple Rain at the theater, and my mom was so excited.
It's a great song, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty good song.
Hang on, let me check something out here. You guys go.
I don't want to know what you're doing. I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
It's okay.
Okay,
Hang on. I'm
Okay.
gonna go see if I can find my album.
Okay. Okay. We'll see you in a second. So anyway, Alex.
Yes.
He didn't even turn his camera off.
Ask
No,
me
why would he?
questions. Ask me all the questions. You got 45 minutes.
I'm digging through a bunch of vinyl.
What? I'm trying to figure out what's playing on his television in the back.
That's us.
Is that us?
Yeah, you're also
You're
back
also back
too.
here.
You're also back here too. So there's a lot of meta.
See, I keep forgetting that I can run this on the television over there. I always run it on my
I'm
monitor.
trying to increase the algorithm.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
that
you.
on the
Appreciate
ASO?
it.
Is that right?
I love his
SEO.
puppet
SEO.
walk off, by the way.
It's an echo
Oh,
chamber.
Mm.
nice. Nice.
That's my move.
Are you moonwalking? He's practicing.
Yeah.
Are you moonwalking?
Yeah.
Nice.
You got
See, this is how Mark
You
filibusters
got
my
it.
episode
You
in 10
got
years. This is how he does it. He has Randy come on, so it filibusters all the time.
Oh
that I
no,
get
no,
to talk.
no. You can talk.
Yeah.
I see you,
I
Mark.
think I
see
saw
what
the
you're
other
doing.
people in the background.
Who's
You
that
made
dude
it.
behind you? I just saw somebody's head.
No, that was my dog.
Oh,
He's wearing headphones. He can't stand to listen to me talk.
I think there's an intruder. Randy, look out behind you. Who is that?
No, hang on, man. He's going on the carpet. Hang on.
Oh,
Stay out
God.
of the damn shot!
I'm dead. Oh my god.
I'm gonna treat this dog like. I don't want to say it. Yeah,
So you guys
yeah.
wanted some.
He's
You
got
guys wanted
Peter
some
Pan.
serious content tonight, and
No.
here we go. We'll deliver. We're gonna deliver. Randy,
What?
nothing.
Hi.
Well, Randy, thanks
I
for.
was ready. I was
I'm glad
ready.
Randy could show up. I mean, this is.
One of
Alex,
your eyeballs
big
is
fan,
smaller than
Randy.
the other one.
Stop
Randy.
making fun of him. Don't judge him about his eyeballs.
Hey.
I'm not
Don't
judging
judge.
Randy.
Hey, you guys know something?
What?
There was
Nobody
a
can see
game.
your eyeballs.
There was a game I used to play with people. Okay, and I used to prank phone call people back when I was a kid. And,
You used to prank phone call yourself?
Oh boy. No, I was gonna say I used to play a game with people. All right, and guess what the game was?
pull my finger?
Stop.
No. Nope. The game was called
Spin the bottle.
Hey, let's see who can hang up first. I win. I win.
Oh, and he's out.
He's stealing something from my playbook, Mark.
Well done. Well
Good
done.
artist copy, great artist steal.
Yeah.
He was listening to the show and he copied that. That's nice.
That was perfect. Holy shit.
Nice. I didn't even have to kick him off. Thank you.
know, he won't even come on tinfoil. He just says, "No, I'm not coming on your show." I'm like, Randy,
Too cool.
Yeah, he's just too cool for tinfoil. Apparently.
Wow.
I don't know.
Hi,
But he
Peanut.
loves you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Randy. I know you're listening. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Randy.
That was awesome.
And again, I am rooting
Randy,
for
call
him.
me.
I so want him to go to the show. I really do. I think he'd be great.
I think he'll go on stage. Honestly, I think Stefan will find a way to get him.
No, stage manager I think is pretty strict. I mean, although he let on the glasses, but the glasses worked. The glasses, they hit. I absolutely dug the glasses.
Yeah. Sorry.
But his
I don't
guitar
know
tech.
if
Know any
so
better,
high, everyone.
you'd swear they were part of the song. Yeah, I'm sure there are people in Los Angeles calling other city. It's like, dude, he wore the glasses. Like, what glasses?
Well, look, Stefan has a dedicated guitar tech. We were back when Weiss and I were backstage. I think it was last summer. I can't remember the last show we were at. We were backstage, and he has a dedicated guitar tech who's just tuning all his guitars. I think you could put Randy next to the guitar tech, and I think we'd probably get some screen time with Randy. And I think that's the angle where you kind of get Randy into the backstage, because the guitar tech is not really important, but he is important. He's like really important to Stefan because he's getting his guitars all tuned up and ready to rock. And
Randy could be like the emotional support tech.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. He looks like a guitar tech anyway. He looks like a roadie.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, number one, someone in the chat said Purple Rain. Sure, of course not. Purple Rain was intended to be a country duet with Stevie Nicks. Yep, that makes sense. Songwriters change stuff all the time. Genres don't have anything to do with it. You'll see the lyrics pop up. It's like, oh, it was supposed to be here, and then someone's like, no, man, I got this, and they'll grab the song, they'll pay whatever, or sometimes they just give it away.
That's so interesting. Didn't he write "Stand Back" too? That
Prince wrote a lot of songs.
He wrote.
He was more of a songwriter than he was an artist, actually.
Right.
That was
That's why he
Stevie
changed
Nicks'
into
song.
the artist so that he could collect all his royalties and screw over all of the Clive Davis. Basically.
Didn't he write "Nothing Compares"?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
he wrote
that,
Sinead
right?
O'Connor.
Right.
He wrote,
And he wrote.
Aaliyah. I think hold on. I'll look.
He also wrote. Look it up if you get a chance. He wrote, I think, "Manic Monday" for the Bangles. Which, from what I understand, when they shot it, when they recorded it, they wanted to add more vulnerability, so they were in the studio totally nude, which of course artists would do. You know, if it's like,
I mean, enough cocaine, you can drive as many people to do anything you want. Like,
but who inspired you, Alex? When you were, when did you start playing guitar, making music, and who was like your big inspiration growing up?
I came up in the blues and Pink Floyd and like a lot of like weird punk shit. I always liked like a little bit the soft side of indie rock, which is like songwriter stuff, which will come across as love songs, where they weren't really, they were like love hate songs. They were anti-love songs, but like I was a big Floyd head, and I was like a lot of I kind of, every time it got too pretty, I would always resort to punk, and I would like, this is too pretty. I'm going to turn the distortion way high and make it less pretty. Because I was just like, it's like, you had these bands like Air Supply. Remember Air Supply? It's these beautiful love songs or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but what I would do is I would like crank his guitar really up to 11, and then it would still be a love song, but it wouldn't be so, I don't know, kind of just cheesy, So like I would go through these whole phases where I was like, I went through like all the blues, all the jazz, everything else, but I was always originally still like a punk garage rocker, like my first band was called Dirty Steve, and it was a 3-piece, and like it was just the gnarliest garage band you've ever heard, and it really didn't sound very good, and I wasn't very good. I wasn't really good at my craft until 15, 20 years into it. But the first 10 years I was just, just making as much noise as I could, and I wasn't singing in key, and my lyrics were just shitty. And then I got to New York, and I kind of refined all that stuff, and I started thinking about what I was singing about, which was just like, human affairs and that sort of thing, and then you could walk a bridge up to like how Mars got written, which was
Tell
like,
us about that, because we get so many compliments on that song, and obviously people love it. It really never gets old. So what inspired you? How'd that come about? Was it before you were into Flat Earth or after?
yeah, it was well, I mean, on the common ladder that everybody goes through, like call it the conspiracy ladder. I hate shit like that, but it kind of applies. Like, I went through the same shit everybody else did. It started 9/11, and I went through all the rabbit holes. I went through every single one of them, and I can save that part of the story because I'm pretty sure everybody listening here knows that journey. But the last 2 years before FE landed for me, at least from a cognitive standpoint, I spent 2 years with a guy named Richard Hoagland. And for those of you who don't know who Richard Hoagland is, he was really active on YouTube, and he was the guy that had the basically discovered the face on Mars. And there was a very, very formidable push in YouTube at that point in time from that corner of the internet, and he was talking about objects that were being photographed on Mars, the planet Mars, right?
Oh yeah, I was all
we're
into
talking.
that.
We're talking about like square, like clearly something is square. It means something got built there,
Right.
And I spent, embarrassingly enough, I spent 2 years in a rabbit hole on that, leading up to what I guess everyone would understand as my FE awakening or whatever. And I will never forget it. I will never forget it because Mark, it was your clues at the end of that. What actually happened was I was coming back from the beach. I was in a car and I was listening to Joe Rogan, and they were ranting off about some bullshit. And at that point in time, I was into Graham Hancock and his other buddy, his geology buddy, and we were studying history or whatever. And they came up with some story. I was like, somebody was talking about flat Earth. I was like, what, did someone just say flat Earth? The fuck are you talking about? I'm coming back from the beach. I'm like really like suntan. I'm like, I'm just happy. And I'm like, I just shut it off. I was like, F you. That's it. I'm not listening to this show anymore. But before I turned it off, I had heard the name Eric Dubé, and it sort of sunk in there. And it was like 4 or 5 months after that, it's still, I'm going through this Richard Hoagland crap, looking at objects on an alleged planet, and the 3-body problem that we have up there in space. And I'm deep in that shit. Right. And it gets to be, it was December of that year, and I can't remember. It was 2015 or 2016, but it's been long enough ago now. It's somewhere in that realm. And Mark's clues came up, Dubé's stuff came up, and I was looking at the guy in the UK. What's his name? Mark. The Brit guy's kind of a smarmy cunt. What's his name? Nathan Oakley. And those things started popping up. And I had 3 weeks in December of that year.
Smarmy cunt is really not a compliment. So
no, I mean, they use that word all the time in Britain, and it just doesn't mean what everyone thinks it does.
In the UK.
Yeah, sorry.
Everybody
cover your kids' ears. But anyway, so like we're I'm sitting there and I have 3 weeks free, and and then this was before YouTube was basically smashing all of the FE content, and so I'm getting fed a bunch of stuff, and like every single video that comes up is feeding off of like the clues from Mark and from Dubé and like ODD and a bunch of other people. And I, sad to say, like Paul and Plain too, and that's a whole other conversation. But there was a bunch of stuff that was early on, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit down with this. I'm just gonna like figure this out because like I got 3 weeks to burn here, and I'm like, okay. So I went and made a sandwich, and I sat down, and I turned on the TV, and I was like, look, I'm gonna give this like a day, and I'm just gonna let it play, and I let YouTube play for 10 straight hours that day. I'll never forget it, and I went through a transformation at that point in time. I was like, wait, what? And it took me a couple of weeks before I realized I was going to lose all my friends. And I was like, people are going to think I'm fucking nuts. Yeah. And it turns out it was like a year or 2 years after that before I actually went on Facebook and said, looks like it's flat, guys. But it took me 2 years to do that. Well, back to Richard Hoagland and Mars and the song Mars, I was I was pissed off the dude. I was like, you just wasted 2 years of my life with your garbage snake oil salesman bullshit about pictures on some other planet, which was just nonsense. And I, you know, at that point in time, I like went through a complete radical change in the way that I thought about reality and everything else, because I mean, everybody that's been here has gone through it, that really went through it with you know, actually went through it, didn't fake their way through it. They actually went through it and learned what it was. And I was in the process of making a new record. And the first song I wrote, and like, I don't write conspiracy songs. Like Alex Michaels got that lane covered. I don't do that stuff. But it bled into my lyrics. It bled into my lyrics for sure. And I sat down and I was like, how do I do this song without sounding, you know, without doing conspiracy music, without doing anything, without it just suggests the fact that I might be going through a change. And that's what Myres was. And it just turned out to be that at the same time I was making the video, I was going through that transformational change of cosmology, which all of us have gone through. At least I think people listening here have, or, you know, and I was like, well, I'm going to make this thing. And then I had to shoot a video because I had to get the video over to the label. I was like, I'm going to shoot a video. So what I did was I took a bunch of footage that I already had saved on my laptop, and I projected on the screen behind me while I was doing the video. So like normal people that wouldn't know anything about FE, they wouldn't know what that imagery meant, but it was a bunch of FE imagery that was going on the projection behind it. Right. So I was like, I guess I'm just going to do it this way, and I'm not going to say anything about it. Nobody noticed. Most people they liked the song, but they didn't really notice what was going on the screen behind it. And then I went to, after that, I was compelled. I was like, we talk about being an obligation. Like most of us feel an obligation to handle this stuff once you actually understand it. That's how I took it, as an obligation. And I was like, well, I do I need to do a movie? And so like, I didn't come up with anything too original on this video. What I did was I compiled a bunch of facts, and I said I did Dr. Strange Lowry, or How I Learned to Love the Realm, which is, you can find that. Basically what I did was I took the best proofs, the best things that I could find out there that made a lot of sense, that could be measured, that you could prove to yourself that you don't need me. This isn't a cult. None of this is a cult. You can go out and prove it to yourself. You don't need me. I wanted to put it all together in one thing. I did a bunch of memes. I borrowed from Mark's meme bank. I borrowed from a bunch of people's meme banks. And I just, Jay Tolan Media, I borrowed a bunch from him. And I just slammed it into one movie. And I was like, look, here you go. I don't know what the fuck is going on here, but we're not spinning. There's no measurable curvature. Can't have gas pressure for a container. And here's what I think, and here's why I think it. And it was some guy that interviewed me from Paris. I think it was a guy that was, he was in a university over there who's interviewing a lot of flat earthers. And I just said, look, I'll give you 3 hours. And I gave him 3 hours, and I cut out the best stuff. And I said, look here. And I've never heard of that guy again after that. Apparently, you know, I don't know if he didn't get what he wanted, or maybe his professor said, do not release this shit. But I released it with the movie. And then Myres came up, and then, you know, I put it into that movie. And then I put all my thanks at the end of it to thanking everybody that I had learned about every single step of my ladder through FE. And then that's when Mark picked up on it, and now it's on Mark's show. There you go.
Wow. That's so crazy. I think, you know, do you feel like your research into, you know, the face on Mars and what space is up to helped you accept flat Earth?
Yeah, actually, it was like I had to go through that. I was a space nerd, man. I loved everything about space. Do you think I didn't want to be Luke Skywalker? I fucking wanted to be Luke Skywalker. I wanted to do all that thing until I realized that you can't. There's nothing to push off of in a vacuum, and then you understand the physics of like how space travel actually is put out to everybody, and you're like, oh my god, that was so dumb. And then you realize that Walt Disney and Narnia and all these people, Jack Parsons, all of them together created a religion for everybody to understand, and then they fed it over the course of generations to people over and over again until it became true. And then when you finally break free of that, you're like, oh my God, that's as dumb as ever. And then you go back and look in Disney over and over again, way in the past, you see how they formulated a religion and made it real, just like L. Ron Hubbard or anybody else put out enough material and said, this is what's real. It's just like any other like religion that gets born in a particular minute. That was a rant, Mark. That's it.
No, it's good. No, I like your rants. I hear your rants. You gotta remember, guys, that I hear about Lowry's rants in the after show. After the show is over, Lowry runs an after podcast that's private for just the cool people. It's basically the backstage for us.
Yeah.
And we talk about whatever. And yeah, exactly. We have backstage Apollonia passes. Oh, by the way,
not as cool as what I just experienced, but
no, not as cool as what you went through.
I know Steph gave me the Wayne's World fantasy, just like
you did. Oh my God, Wayne's World reference. Absolutely, the Alice
Yeah.
Cooper Wayne's World reference. That's
Totally.
a great one.
I wish I was a bigger Deftones fan just for the sake of knowing all the music. But what happened afterward is that I do have a really new appreciation for it. I've been listening to it ever since. And shout out to the song like Sex Tape and Digital Bath and Minerva, like so many good songs that I just am now feeling like it's a mood, it's a vibe. And so Alex, for that, you have that gift and you're able to create that way. I have always thought that music is just one of the joys of life, and to have that talent and use it and to share it and to create something that really resonates must feel really good, and we're just so grateful that you have that gift and that we get to play it on our show, because Myres, hearing the backstory is interesting. I remember being obsessed with space as well. Were you, Mark? Were you like a space nerd too?
Dude, again, not only was I obsessed with space, I had antique globes. My walls in Colorado were covered with antique maps of all sorts. Wow. And the joke was, if I ever suffered a head injury, if I woke up, at least I'd know where I was. Because I'd have all the maps around. It's like, okay,
that's funny. Sure.
And then I had to tear them all down and get rid of all the globes. And I still, in fact, I've got here real quick. I've got this crap. My brother-in-law gave me
a globe.
Here's your shot, guys. Gave me 2 globes that I took off the spindles, and I use these now when I'm talking to classrooms. It's like, oh yeah, but know thy enemy. So it's like I have to use this as a reference point. I'm not going to throw these away. It's like, well, I kind of need them because then I can say, okay, on a globe, it's this. So
I would say,
don't mean that like enemy. Come on, we still got love. I want to encourage everyone to still lead with love in your decisions. And with all the drama that's happened, I really want to hear Lowry's take on like what have you seen progress through Flat Earth, and what does it mean to you? I mean, I keep hitting home that the term is a blanket term. It means questioning everything. It means, where are we? Are we spinning? What other conspiracies can get tied into this? Because to me, it's like a foundation for so much more, that if this is true, if the Earth is really not where we're being told, it opens up Pandora's box for so many other things to be questioned. And I think we live in a society and a time right now where, especially after lockdown, where people are like, you know what was the motive there? And how much can I really trust? And if you listen to Joe Rogan, you hear Joe Rogan all the time saying, the political arenas are so corrupt, and the pharma industry is corrupt, and education is corrupt. And it's like, you just hear corruption over and over and over. And as someone who is looking into the biblical cosmology thing, just going, is there any hope here? And is this book, does it have answers? And it talks all about corruption and deception and things leading up to something better. And so what does Flat Earth mean to you, Lowry? Like, I want to hear, because I never asked you that before.
It's super easy for me. It's like I think the biggest is your spiritual journey, and that's yours and yours alone to have. And like, I don't speak to that. I don't speak to anyone's spiritual journey, whatever you think. I think Flat Earth is the biggest topic of all time. And after that, it's God. After that, it's the creator. It's whatever you call it, source, whatever. In the meantime, we walk around in a place that is the conspiracy that happens every day, all the time, in front of you, every second of the day, where you're walking around. Are you spinning on that? And if you understand how you get inside someone's mind and fuck with their mind, you firstly fuck with their exact place that they're walking around on. In other words, you curve it to create a false fence. You have to be narcissistic. That she coined that. You falsify a fence by you curve the land that you're walking around on. You curve it around itself so that you can't go outside of a certain invisible fence, even though we know what it is. We're in a basin of some type, and there's a shore, right? We don't know what's outside of it. Don't care. I'd like to find out, but maybe we're supposed to go there. Maybe we're not. Doesn't matter. But they created a fence by curving it, right? It's a mind fuck, right? And they did that for a reason of control. And I say they, it's, you can call it whatever you want, Jesuits, you name the names, name the names. But why it's important is because we need to know where we are. in order to get up to what we're actually supposed to do as human beings, and what your individual purpose in life is, whatever it is that you do. If you're a good guitar player, if you're really good at underwater basket weaving, or if you're something, whatever it is that you're supposed to do, you need to get up to that thing, and that's because it's inside of you, and do it. But you can't do it if you're spinning. And if you're convinced that you're spinning, you can't even figure out who you are. You can't figure out where you're supposed to go, because everything's fucking moving around, and there's all sorts of direct misdirection and all sorts of things. It's just a mind fuck. And they do it on purpose to get your mind off kilter, just like they do with the calendars, just like they do with time, daylight savings time, everything else, anything to keep you off kilter so that you can't figure out what you're actually supposed to do inside of your own heart. They will do it, and they will attack you on every single way they can do it, through time, through the place that you walk around on, through everything else. They will do that. And I say they, and there's a small group of people. They do exist. They're horrible people. They probably struggle with their own lives, and they're probably miserable. Anyway, I'm not out to go after these people. The only thing they have is they can fool you. They can hoax you. They can hoax you and get you to believe what they want you to believe, so they can harvest your energy, your loosh, or whatever it is. You can just tell them to one of those.
Well,
one of those. You just tell them to do that.
I'm searching Etsy right now for underwater woven baskets.
There you go.
Isn't that you could take that in college? I heard.
I will take that awkward segue, and I will take it even further, but I'll round it back, which is I have two more pieces of Prince trivia, which people sent in. One was from Peanut Gallery, and he goes, Prince often used purple as a metaphor for love, spirituality, and transcendence.
Crown chakra.
All right.
Reflecting his elevation of Black music and culture. And then while Lowry was going off on one of his rants, Randy called me, and he goes, don't forget to let him know that Prince also wrote I Feel For You by Shaka Khan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? That's funny.
And Randy happens to, he knew very, very well Shaka Khan when he was in Los Angeles. He did.
Yeah.
In real life.
I feel for you. I like that
song.
song.
That was a great song.
Yeah.
That was a great
That's
song.
funny that he was so close with her too, Randy.
Yeah. Oh, you saw one of the pics.
Yeah, I was
Randy was.
Randy and Shaka Khan. It looked like a Valentine's Day pic. It's like, what the heck was this?
She was into furries, apparently. I don't know.
Weird.
And they have there's this other talk too. Like if you like, not, this is another rabbit hole. I won't do too much on this, but like when you start to study like maritime law versus common law versus like old bar association law from London, what you find out is that the common law is really is God given or source given or whatever it is that you're prescribing to. It's like you have a session in your life that you walk through, and you need to do what it is that you need to do. And how they swerve you off of your path is they spin you up. They spin you up to get you swerved off your path, and you kind of stumble through your path as opposed to like a straight line to true north, right? And the first thing they're going to do is invert the very thing that you think you're seeing, which is like using your eyes. If you're a kid and you didn't go to kindergarten, you didn't see a globular thing in your kindergarten class, then what would you say? What was the first person if you talk to the first person, what do you think this place is? It was, well, it's really big. And do you think it's a space ball? And as a kid, you'd be like, no, there's no evidence that this is a space ball. But they get you right there at the very, they even talk your parents into, like, they hang space balls over your crib and like all this stuff.
Oh my God,
goes all the way back to, and then
Mobiles
Star
that
Spin,
spin,
all this stuff.
records that spin, the earth spins. Like, you see a common denominator. They just spin your truth.
Yeah, they're spinning you. They're trying to confuse you.
Just
to
like
no
the
end.
news spins the story.
Well, that's what was so trippy is I'd never even questioned the spin until I started listening to the side of things, going, wait a second, that's a good point. And looking outside, like the sun and moon look like they're moving above me. I never looked at it like that before.
Yeah.
And then you get even more technical with like the moon cycles and how it's like this perfect calendar. And I'm like, whoa, there is something definitely fishy going on. So I'd rather stay on this side of questioning things. Maybe we don't have everything all figured out, but hey, it's still better than being spoon fed and just not questioning, in my opinion.
We're spin fed.
And look what was happening just recently. The two things. One would be the ghost probe that supposedly landed on the moon just recently, the only unmanned probe that's been landed in years and years, the only second private space company ever, and the footage was horrible as usual. No stars in space. But the other thing, which is coming up, and if Steph's right, man, I will give you all sorts of kudos if you're still listening to the show right now, which is, he goes, you wait. He goes, those two people that have been trapped on the ISS since last fall. He goes, you wait.
Dude, they had a reporter up there. On their
Apparently, a reporter beamed himself up there.
Something's gonna happen. They've been running this story. It's like Fujit, or what's her name? Sujit. What are the two people that are up there? American and the Indian girl. Sunita. Sorry, Sunita. Otherwise known as
terrible hair, and her hair would be way longer.
That's what
He
you
was
focus
up there
on
for
is
that
the
long.
hair, not the fact that she could be a lead in Wicked the musical. Really?
Clearly
That's
they
what
do not have somebody who's doing their continuity.
All right.
No,
But he was trying to convince me, and he might be right. He's going, you wait. They're going to turn this into something. He goes, it'll be the next Apollo 13. It's going to be, can we get them back safely? And something's weird's going to happen on the way. He goes, I don't think they're coming back. It's like, come on.
He never went there.
If you are
trip.
As a discerning person, like everybody's listening here, if you look back on all of the stuff that we looked at on NASA over the course of 10 years,
right.
Did they make special rocket flights for the thing? Did they make special rocket flights for guitars for them to play? Special rocket flights for them to have the
is there an
the
astronaut
jersey
that
for the
got a
winning
jab
Super
in
Bowl? We have a bear costume. Do you think they really calculated on their little rocket Disneyland Narnia bullshit program to I don't know, we're going to put a bear suit in the rocket and shoot it up to a thing and then load it in there because we're care more about having the bear suit go up there than I don't know the people surviving the rocket to get up. It's just nonsense.
Okay, wait.
It's nonsense.
Okay, hold on. My latest one was Katy Perry going on Blue Origin with a whole bunch of other
bullshit
women. It's
Did
like the
that
first
happen?
women crew.
It happened according to the internet.
Yeah. But
that's the trippy
why?
thing.
Why is Katy Perry going to space? Why?
Oh, because she's got the biggest tour this year. She's doing 80 stops. That's why.
What?
It's the biggest tour this year that I've seen out of all the bands. I was looking.
She's going to perform in space.
Well, no, but she can plug her tour
In space?
You know, but
See,
if you're
listen,
in space,
space
you
is not
instantly
real.
become more
Otherwise, there would
relevant.
be fashion shows in space. Okay, there would literally be.
Oh, Mark,
fashion
one of
shows.
my favorite things, my favorite things that you ever said. I mean, this is early on. This is back 2015, 2016. You made a really good point, which is like,
I did.
You know, as we understand capitalism, as we understand photography, as we understand anything, if the globe was actually real and space was actually real and the moon was actually something you could land on, the first thing that we would have is a gazillion shots of live spinning Earth. We would have advertisements, billboards on the moon. We would have billboards out in space. We would have the capitalists would do that.
Yeah,
they would do that.
Why are
They
there
have never
signs in
done that
space?
because it's fake. Narnia, Disneyland, bullshit.
Yeah,
that's all it ever has been.
And to your point, it was so realistic back then that in the mid 70s, I challenge anyone to watch this. There was a wonderful television show called Space 1999, which was again set in 1999, but it was filmed in 75. It's like, oh, we've got a moon base, and there's hundreds of people on it, and people are like, oh yeah, by 99 we absolutely should have that. And 99 came and went, and we got nothing. Nobody.
We got Prince. We got Party Like 1999.
We got that, but
There you
that's
go.
all we got. The future was
Way to
absolutely
throw it
robbed from us. And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
one more thing. Well,
Yeah.
I want to stress this to people that are listening. If you're a true flat earther, if you're really into it, because you will be hyper aware of globes that you see in media.
Oh,
Wherever, I don't care what show comes on television, what movie, you'll see it, which is all of a sudden you'll notice a globe in frame because you're like, oh, what's that? And you'll be like, wait a minute, what's that doing there? At first, you'd be like, well, it's just a globe in the background. It's like, there's no reason in context for it to be there. I was watching a rerun of Undercover Brother from 2010, I think, with Eddie Griffin. And the chief, of the black group, the lead black spy group, in his office, in the corner of the office, was a blue globe. There's no reason for it to be there. And yet they put them everywhere, and people are like, oh, it's
everywhere.
Wait,
it's like,
hold on. So I worked as a prop stylist on a lot of sets, and a globe is always one of the things that I have to get as an option for the set for
It's like they get a kickback.
Like, for the
if you
set.
put a globe in this scene, we'll give you a kickback.
No, it's not.
weird.
There's not a kickback. It's just one of those required
It's part of the list,
things
though.
that is in a frame. Like if you're shooting in an office and the scene is an office, there's always a globe in the corner.
Yeah.
It's always in the corner. Do
Right.
you ever notice that
Oh,
too?
yeah.
It's always in the corner.
Yeah.
It's always off in the depth of field, just a little bit, maybe a little bit in the foreground, maybe a little bit in the background.
in frame.
You might not notice it,
No,
but it's
totally.
always there. And
Yep.
as a prop stylist, I can literally pull up like, this is the list of the things you got to get these votives, and there's got to be like this table, and it's got to be like this chair and a globe.
But
And
the
no-
point was, to you, it was on your list. It was you knew about it. You didn't know why it was on your list, but it was on your list. And I just so many times, hell, I watched Supernatural, the series, ran 15 seasons. They were so clever that at one point they put one at either end of the trailer, so it didn't matter which way you were pointing, you were always going to get it in frame. So you got it in both dialogue shots. It's like, oh, you guys, you're killing me.
And that mark is like really probably the most powerful thing to say about the subtlety of the brainwash.
Right.
Is how they have managed to put that in every single vision of every single screen,
Right.
no matter what. Even before we allegedly ever left the planet, they had it in Universal Studios. They had
I
it.
was just thinking of that. That was what I was gonna say.
Like, how do you know that it's a spinny water ball, and you still have the plane flying around it that's like actually sideways from it, which is weird, know?
Right.
But it's like, but if you get enough of an idea of how brainwashing works over the course of generations, you can understand that over the course of generations, you can disappear a hard truth, but with imagery. That's it. With imagery.
Yep.
And
People
that's
are
the tricky
visual.
part. It's like the lengths that they're willing to go in music videos and not just movies, kid stuff like you guys are saying. And so that was something that I became a lot more aware of once you start researching and questioning, going, well, maybe we're not in space and maybe we're not spinning. How do they know where everything is? And like where the continents are perfectly placed, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just kind of like, it is definitely trippy to be able to see things through this lens. That's why it was so fun for me to get for me to come onto Strangewood. I was like, I am going to get to the bottom of this because I want to know both sides of the story and just completely versed. And that's always my message to people watching that are on the fence, or to my friends and family. Like, I don't care if you believe this. And really, I didn't get into this because of the shape of the earth. I got into this because of like, what is the truth? And just wanting to know why there's so many people saying, hey, we're not where we're being told. And so I really want to encourage those people to keep investigating, keep staying curious.
Absolutely. We want to plug your stuff here in a second, but I want to mention something in chat real fast. One of the guys says, "Is Peanut actually alive, or are they just fronting?" Peanut, are you anywhere near the microphone?
Peanut, say something. I always thought Peanut was like a completely like just a made up person.
Me
I thought he
too.
was just a made up producer.
Well,
that you
okay.
just-
So the concept of Peanut.
Arguments that we had Lowry on the after hours, really.
Wait, how do we know you're not AI?
Okay. First
How do
off,
we know you're not? Are you peanut butter?
oh God, Nico,
Not
you killing
yet.
me. Okay, so just so you guys know, the whole peanut concept that Peanut and I came up with was we were kind of stealing from the British show Top Gear, where there was a character out there that always drove the special cars, and he was called the Stig, and he never took off his helmet, so you never knew who the Stig was, and that was the inside joke. It's like, okay, who's the Stig? But he was always, and he never even talked. Now Peanut will talk every once in a while. You're still not going to figure it out for the most part. But Peanut and I met for the first time at the Dallas conference, where he had a suite, I think near the top floor, and most of the people ended up in his room. So
everybody was in my room.
Everybody was in your room. David Weiss was doing card tricks, and there were all sorts of VIPs walking around, and and it's like, wow, that's really cool. Because I was thinking, I set up my room with snacks and water and everything ready. Nope, where's everybody? Everybody's up in freaking Peanut's room. I had to give away all the snacks. The next day, I put them on a big luggage cart and I wheeled them into the conference and said, here, take them. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, so thank you, Peanut, for
Who
chiming
was
in.
the other famous Peanut that was on like? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's a famous Peanut out there. Who is?
There's another Peanut. I've heard of him, but I can't remember exactly what show.
Well,
it's
I mean,
talking about.
there's
peanut butter.
the peanut butter guy. Oh, hang on. I lost Peanut. Give me a second. I got to bring.
I wonder, are they friends? That Peanut and this Peanut? Like this, our
I don't
Peanut
know,
seems
maybe.
more like the
Peanut.
rough and
Peanut,
tough.
where'd you go? Peanut, are you there?
Oh shit!
Oh, it's Randy.
Oh no, Randy.
Oh, that's not Randy.
Ozzy Bear.
You're on mute, whoever this is.
You're muted. Randy, you're muted.
Is that Elmo?
Randy,
Is
you're
that Elmo?
muted.
It was someone's getting attacked.
Fozzie the Bear is fighting Elmo.
Stop. This show.
Randy, you're muted. You gotta take off the microphone.
This show is just.
Although I'm sure this fight is not safe for kids. What, Randy? You got unmute. Oh my God, he's killing me.
Maybe we weren't supposed to see this. Is this
Maybe
like
we weren't?
Are we
I mean,
witnessing a
honestly,
murder?
I don't know what I'm not sure if I want to hear what's happening right now.
I think there's a murder happening.
we
Randy,
can overdub it.
Randy,
Hey, guys.
You're muted.
Yo, hey,
take off.
I think he's having an episode.
Okay. While he's muted,
I'm
Lowry,
having a really big problem with all my dogs right now, and Elmo is just being a bitch.
This is a Muppet bashing that we're.
Can he not hear us?
No.
But it's funny. Just let him go.
He's
Just let it
having
happen.
a seizure or something.
Oh my God.
You know what? We're gonna just.
Okay, while we're waiting for him to figure things out.
That, and it's just gonna be like.
There
I
he
had
is.
to call the cops on him twice. Wait, what?
My God, you're killing the neighbor. Stop it.
Are you okay? Do you need us to send help?
Don't buy a dog from somebody in an alley. Get the neighbor out of your mouth. Bad dog. I gotta go.
Okay, by the way, you're gonna have to get closer to your microphone because you're.
All right, no. The dog knocked everything over, man. I gotta go. I love you.
Okay.
Don't buy a dog from somebody in an alleyway.
Okay, thank you,
Don't do
Randy.
it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Sounds like it had rabies. I don't know.
Mark, you're never gonna have us on again, are you?
Okay.
We're never gonna be invited back.
Okay. Okay, Randy, we're gonna say goodbye so we can plug Lowry.
Randy, just take a deep breath.
The cops are coming. I hear the cops.
Okay. We'll
Good luck with that.
We'll talk to you later, Randy. Okay.
That was intense.
Okay, we got a few minutes left. Let's plug your stuff. Where can people find you?
Okay, so we're I have the Reckoner channel. I am the Reckoner is like sort of a more personal thing where I do like more personal rants. Me and Nicole do videos on there.
Not lately, but
we
will be soon.
We save it for like
we're in a little bit of a
for particular
transition period.
Yeah, we're on exodus. We're just put it this way, we're an exodus from NYC down to greener pastures. But we're the Reckoner is where you can find some of like the more personal rants and ideas. Lowry Video Music is that's where my music is, and then we do the Tinfoil Sombrero every Sunday night. Which is, it's just it's a truth jacuzzi. We're not like, like Glowbusters is more tech oriented. And there's a lot of sites that are more tech oriented. We just have a good time. It's for like everyone that's already been through the war all day long. And you just need somewhere safe to come and hang out and have a good laugh. We'll cover some stuff, but we don't do, a lot of things after that. And we've had a bunch of great people on. We have, as far as I'm concerned, we've had some of the greatest people in this community on.
For sure.
I wish we could get Prince, but
Prince, if he's still alive, we'll get him.
Depends on what timeline we're living in.
Yeah, but it's just like it's like at the end of the week after you've been through the rigor of all the truth channels. We're like the jacuzzi at the end of the week. So like join us there. We might talk some tech. We might not. We don't care. Just whatever.
Cool.
Lowry, you're the man, dude.
You are the man.
Nico, you gorgeous
We
thing.
have coming up on Tuesday. We have DJ Curious coming up on Tuesday.
Wait, we're on Tuesday.
No, wait, was this no Sunday?
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, we have
I don't believe in time or days. So
Oh, yeah,
he
I
just
should-
tells
I should-
me when
True,
to
I
do
should do a-
somewhere, and I'm like, do
Wait,
I have
what's
to make
happening?
one?
I should do a real quick drop. We have Daniel Falkenbach, Flat Earth Subgenius next Sunday, and then we have Marty Leeds
Marty
following.
Leeds, who let us
and,
on, let us on before,
let us
but then
on,
he
and
had
then
to
he
cancel.
canceled, but he's
so
a good
hopefully
guy.
Marty Leeds does not lead us on again because he's been talking about some important things, which I would
Yeah.
like to talk to him about.
And we'll cover that on a different episode, not tonight. So, Mark, it's really a pleasure. Thank you, DJ Peanut. I think after all these years of talking to you over the phone, it's nice to actually do a full show with you. You should have asked me earlier, buddy.
Dude, I'm glad Peanut is back. Welcome back, Peanut.
You know, thank you for saying it's a pleasure. That makes one of us. So, all right, what we're going to do is we're going
You know what
to.
pleasure is, Mark?
We're, oh, why I never.
That was salty. I'm sorry. I like salty
Oh,
peanut.
you know,
Sound like
I'm
one of the
single.
trolls in the chat.
I just wanted to be a salty peanut.
It hurts me here and it hurts me here. It does.
Love you guys.
All right.
Guys,
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play Lowry's song. This is like a first. Lowry's song is actually gonna be playing with our
Wait.
slideshow. We're gonna
He's
move
gonna
off-
sing it live
Before
for
you
us.
Oh, we
play
get to
it-
see a
wait
slideshow
second.
with the music?
Before you play it,
Yeah,
can
you're
I
gonna
just
see-
tell a
and-
really funny story? Because like when Alex released that song, I had traveled to Germany and he happened to be in. I went to Europe by myself, and he happened to be in Germany at the same time. And he was like, "Oh, you want to come on tour?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll totally be your merch girl." And so I like hung out on tour with him for I don't know, like a week or two. And I swear, ever since then, even him singing it live, I swear he always said, "Mars is closed." And it wasn't until like the other day that I found out the actual lyrics are Mars is close.
But I like
That's what I was
closed.
trying to figure out how far is Mars.
I know, but
Yeah.
Mars is closed. DJ, you
They
can
say
find
it's
out.
close.
It's closed.
It's closed,
No.
but I like closed. I'll take either.
You
It's
can
like,
go
mean,
either. Actually, with
Excuse
that.
me while I kiss this guy. You know, lyricosis, that sort of thing. Anyway, I love you guys.
I'm having
Mwah.
Well, okay, so we'll be back next week. Same flat time, same flat channel.
Can I say
Say
goodnight, Nico?
goodnight. Well, you know what? Let's do say goodnight, DJ.
Good night, Strange World. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Lowry and Nico, as well as our TFS, the Tinfoil Sombrero co-hosts Andrew and Rico. You guys are awesome. Check it out Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern for this
I don't know.
Flat Earth Jacuzzi. And just stay curious out there. And always remember to seek the truth. Don't connect dots that don't need to be connected. Go for the evidence and keep it with love as your lead, so we can just get through this time and move forward.
Love you guys.
One of the longest exits, and watch. Here's the shortest. You ready? Say goodnight, Peanut. He didn't even have his mic long enough to say it. Nice. That's
Good night,
horrible.
Nicole.
And say goodnight, Lowry, Nico.
Whatever,
Good night,
man.
Lowry and Nico.
Whatever.
Good night, you
See,
guys.
that's the way you're supposed to do it. There you go. No, DJ is perfect, of course. All his stuff is freaking epic. Kills me.
I love you guys. DJ, I can't wait to see you. Mark, you're just tall.
Jazz
Lots of
hands.
I love you.
Jazz
He's
hands.
taller than me.
I'm
He's tall too, and
I
beautiful.
mean, like when
Okay,
you wear your platform shoes, you're
I don't-
taller than me.
I don't
but-
own platform shoes. Not publicly anyway. Okay. That's it.
Everybody
We're
that's
gonna-
going to Deftones, you're gonna have a great time. Sorry
Yeah,
to
you
set
guys are
that
gonna
bar
have
so
a
high. I
blast.
feel bad, but
No,
Where's-
where's
I've
the
seen
ending?
Deftones. They're amazing.
There we
they're
go.
epic. Yeah, that was so fun.
And
Yeah, I wish we had. I wish we had.
Bye, guys. Make it big, Mark. Make it big.
Great job tonight.
DJ's got his glasses on. They're brand new. Thank you, chat room. Thank you, Ginger Sugarbush, Dad David, Bill Wall, Half Tater, Half Moon, Effie Nate, Darth Peterson, Alex Javier, Peter Elstrom, Dank, Daddy's Angel, Mike Flatbird. Oh, he retracted that message. Half Moon, KIC, Gregory May, CK, GC. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. What else? What else is in there? NDB. Oh, there's Nico. Rupak 1013. Dr. Bass Ackwards. Boston Ray. Random Proof. Got Silver 77. Tyler Porter. All the rest. You guys are great. That Lowry song.
I don't know who that is.
I know who it is. I just don't care.
All over again. There's words for what you got.
Sounds so good too.
I did it.
And what you'll ever need. Love so many nights, so many nights, so many ways to believe.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
This is
dude.
why I don't do 2 shows a night anymore.
Oh, who's that?
What are you doing over there?
With her cup of
Weird thing.
How did I get there?
Nico.
Hey.
It's a new timeline.
And that's Karen.
Karen.
You realize it's the same link every week. It
That's
never
Peanut
changes.
talking. Yeah, I know. I should paste it somewhere, I think. That's metaphor for people getting into flat Earth, by the way. Okay, almost done doing the Deftones bookend, and then we're
all right.
we go. Oh, hey, look, Randy.
No, that guy.
I think Randy crowd surfing was an awesome idea.
Dude, I want to go back. It was so fun.
Yeah.
I'm actually really glad that I lived that whole 90s, 2000s, the early 2000s grunge metal era. It was fantastic.
Love you guys. Bye.
Oh, bye.
And we are